Hey guys, welcome. In this video, I want to show you some fun and easy ways to use watercolor, maybe in an experimental fashion with the spirit of discovery. So just thinking of things you might add to, say, journal pages or a greeting card, things like that. My supplies are pretty straightforward. I've got a round brush, I've got a marking pen, just a felt tip marker, kind of a medium point. I'll set that aside. I'm only going to use that later if I want to outline something or add some little details to something. And then my paints are in this little tiny travel kit. It's just a candy tin, and then these are water bottle caps that I glued in. Oh, and before I glued these in, I spray painted the inside of this tin white, so it's got a lot of paint on it now, so it's hard to see, but it gives you a mixing area that with a white background. Yeah, and then glue in the bottle caps and add paint. These are tube watercolors, and if you want to know the specific colors, let me know in the comments, and I'll put that in the description box because I don't recall offhand. And of course, I've got some water and a rag if I need to blot anything. So the way I like to start, and I start a lot of my journal pages this way, is just by exploring my colors a little bit. And I'll often make like a little color key off to the side of my journal page. Maybe little squares of color. I'm even going to pick up some of these colors from the tin. It's interesting. I mean, they're not always beautiful, but that's okay. We need to know what we're going to get. Sometimes we want something kind of dark and shady colored, and you know, it's just also fun to do this and see like how many colors can you get from just 3 colors. This blue I know is going to be so super strong, so you can also do a thing where you know, maybe just put a little color down and add some water to see, you know, you get like a more transparent, a lighter tint of that color, and so on. Let's see what this yellow and reddish color make. So those give me some ideas of what I've got in my palette. And then I want to make some shapes. And a fun thing to do is make little organic shapes on your paper to start with. And I'm going to actually just use a couple colors. It could be like a lemon shape or a peanut shape, something like that. Again, doesn't have to be perfect and doesn't have to be symmetrical. And then while the paint is wet, I like to drop in a second color. So, and if I get a splatter, that's okay too. So I'm looking at something that's maybe going to be like a little bird shape. So yeah, let's add some, not getting too detailed. I want to not get too detailed here, so I got to stop myself. But I also enjoy how the colors are kind of floating into one another. And let's have something more with the green tone. I mean, make the paint pretty watery, right? So just go in and, yeah, I like to drop in that color and just let the paint and the water do their thing. It's tempting to overwork it, right? So let's stop ourselves. Oh gosh, I can't stop. All right, let's go with one that's more pinkish. Okay, these are okay, but they're actually all coming out kind of the same size and shape, and so I want to do some more variation in a second. Let me throw some, that got pretty strong. Let me throw some dark in there. And let's go over here, and we can even do some, you know, just maybe some of these little bird eggs. Maybe we need a bird house over here, because, you know, we need a bird house. All right. Now I'm getting too specific, but Okay, so we're going to set that aside to dry for a little bit, and then we're going to come back and add some more fun and detail. So we're back with our little birds here, and I want to put some little details in. And let's see, I want to test this color. Yeah, I like that. Give this guy a little wing. And so we got one in flight. Maybe come in with a little more definition around the beak area. Now, if I wasn't being lazy, I could get another brush, but this one will work fine for now. And maybe some tail feathers in that color. Also, you know, sometimes you can reconstitute the paint a bit that's already on there as you come in with the wet. So be aware that that can happen, but you might like that effect. All right, so that's enough for that little guy for the moment. All right, I'm gonna let him dry a little more for the moment, but okay, no biggie. Just let him do that. Down here, definitely want some darker shading, and this guy's got a little wing, just a little. Okay, so the wing's going to be a little more like his shoulder there, a little dot there. Let's give him a little definition in the beak, and the eye is just like kind of straight back from the beak, and give him a little shadowing to give him some body weight there. Not too much, not too much. He's got a cute little tail. I think I have gone too far. Oh, let's give him a nice, oh yeah, nice strong beak. Lift off some of that so it's not too much. There we go. I'm messing around a lot with this. It's okay. Right, back to this guy. So if he's got a branch coming like this that he's hanging on, which I think is where he's going to be, let's do a nice little eye for him there. Coming straight back from that nice little beak. There he goes. Okay, so now let's give him a little more tail feather action. And, you know, this is not anatomically correct at all. These are cartoon birds. These are cartoon birds. And yeah. So yeah, I like that branch going there. So actually this color here that I had from somewhere in this tin, oh, I'm moving off screen too much, sorry. This kind of brownish color is going to be sort of handy. So let's put him on a branch there. He's working his way up the bark of the tree. He's getting the little bugs out. This bird's in flight. And what about this bird? I kind of feel like this is not an egg, but it's a little bird, a little baby bird. So let's give this like a nice deeper, darker shape. Yeah, let's see where this goes. Let that dry a second. And okay, now over here I do want something kind of grayish. So to get a nice gray, we can just come into some of this muddy toned extra paint over there. Let's see, how about giving this some shadow? That's quite the same color. All right. I always like to think of the sun coming that way, kind of a habit I've got in my work. Okay, so Can I get that more? Maybe pick up that brownish stuff again. Oh yeah, I'm liking that. Give it a nice shadow, and then got a little doorway. We've got to get a doorway in there. Okay. And I'm going to make this guy just sort of super cartoony over here. And I'm going to see what I got from this. Ooh, that's nice. Again, this is just from these 3 colors, and I'm just picking up stuff that was left over in the tin. Just because it's, yeah, okay, what is that? Looks interesting. So this guy, I want to give him like a little, what do I want to do? I want to darken something to make it a little more, give him some volume. And also, yeah, let's just say he's like, little baby bird. Get a little head there. This is a teeny guy, but his head's going to be pretty big relative to his body, right? So that's how all the little baby creatures are. And normally I like to do that shape before I get a nice big wing. Okay, fluffy boy. Maybe that nice kind of little tail feather action there. Maybe a little baby bluebird or something, I don't know. I'm going to take as those are drying, I'm going to grab a couple other basic simple items. This is just a liner, a marker pen, just a felt tip marker, and you could use anything. I kind of like these because I'm finding they don't bleed through the paper and they're inexpensive, and I don't know if they're archival or not. I just find that they're handy. And then I use just a number 2 pencil, and this is for smudging when we have some pencil marks that we want to blend as shadows. So we'll come back in a minute when things are dry. Okay, so these are pretty close to dry. So let's go to this guy. This guy is kind of fascinating me. And I think this guy is looking up. And let's see, and I like to bounce around so I don't get too stuck on any one deal here. I love this little guy creeping up the tree. Yep. I'm not worrying about being super exact with my outlining. If there's little white gaps, I don't mind. This guy kind of not working super well, but he looks a little more like a cartoon character. And I mean, all these guys are goofy, they're not realistic, but this one for some reason is definitely looking like out of a strange cartoon book, and I don't know what's going on there. But I do like his little wacky, I think it's this goofy eyeball thing. Just googly eyes, sort of. So over here, this bird being like in flight, so to speak. Okay, I think I got the pen damp, so I have to kind of go back. And this bird being in flight, we can say like his little feet are going to be like whoosh. And let's outline that. This little critter. Now if I wanted to get really carried away, I might get I don't know, some more paint, again, a finer brush. This little guy is kind of flying. He's trying to fly. And let's say he's just jumping up and down in aggravation. And this guy, I don't know where he's going exactly, but it doesn't matter. Okay, now I want to define some of my birdhouse stuff. Now this top part almost looks like an acorn. I don't know what's going on there. But again, and then we have this cute little doorway and a little shading there. A little shading there. This guy just took off. Maybe this guy's standing over there. He's kind of running into the branch, but no biggie. No biggie. And we could go in with some more. But the main thing I want to do is kind of give these guys more eyeballs. Eyeballs. And really now I think this pen is again picking up some paint. At this point it doesn't matter if the pen is waterproof or not. Actually, I initially picked that pen thinking about it being waterproof, but sometimes it works better to just use something like a roller ball or something like that. So we can do that. You know, use whatever you have on hand. Have fun with it. And just have your birds be having fun. And that is a quick look at how to make a few little fun birds with your watercolors. So have fun painting.